I wanted to clarify a few things before I really get into what I want to talk about in this video. And that is, I put men who complain about child support in the title. This video also applies to women as well who are under order to pay child support but complain about it or refuse to pay the child support. They also should be held accountable. What I wanted to talk about in this video is that I saw another person's video where they were essentially accusing women of hustling the child support system and fathers who pay child support. What the person in the video mentioned that caught my attention was that, well, I'm not going to give the exact figure. He said something to the effect that it doesn't take $700 a month to raise a child, which that tells me that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no idea of the true cost of what it takes to raise a child, because it takes $700 and then some a month to raise a child. Where I live, in the state that I live in, Florida, in order to get a one-bedroom apartment in the fucking ghetto, you're looking at least $800 a month, and that's in the ghetto. Okay, in a nice area, safe, free from drugs, crime, near nice schools, good school, you're looking at probably $1,200 a month or more for a one-bedroom apartment. For this person to say that it doesn't take $700 a month to raise a child, he's operating off of what I call Negronomics. He's not operating off of knowledge about how the cost of living and the economics of raising a child works. Especially when a child is young, it's very expensive. You're talking about formula, diapers, clothing, which infants grow very fast, childcare costs, which could easily run over $200 a week. I don't know if he's thinking that it doesn't take $700 a month in child support if the woman is living off of government assistance like housing and food stamps, welfare, and other public assistance programs. But once again, it's not the government or the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of people's children. That falls on the parents. Obviously, he don't know what the hell he's talking about. And it's just fucking ludicrous for someone to accuse a person of hustling the system because they're getting $700 a month in child support. Now, if there's some type of evidence that the woman is spending the money on herself instead of the child, that's different. You see that she's taking the money and using it to buy stuff for herself, like hair or clothes and shit like that. That's different. But that's it. Unless she's living with someone rent-free and somebody else is paying all her bills, that would be pretty hard for her to do and still be able to meet just the basic necessities of taking care of that child. And another thing that these people who like to sit up and complain about paying such a small amount in child support monthly, they're not taking into consideration that the custodial parent also has costs attached to raising that child. They obviously have to pay rent. They have to pay for food, utilities, transportation, and other things that child would need. Healthcare. I would say unless a man or a woman is paying in excess of $3,000 or $4,000 a month in child support and they're not working, then the non-custodial parent shouldn't be fucking complaining, because otherwise there will be no way for a person to live good and still take care of that child the way that they're supposed to take care of that child. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, I know a few guys that actually had custody of their children, but for whatever reason, they never went to the court system seeking for the mother to pay child support. And I think that speaks volumes about their character, that they didn't bother pressuring the mothers to pay child support. In one of these guys' case, I think the reason why he didn't pressure his baby mama about paying child support is because he still had feelings for her, and he was probably hoping at some point that he would be able to reconcile and they would get back together. And also he knew that whenever their child visited the mother, that she was being well taken care of and that the mother provided for her as well. What else? I also know a guy, he's not a custodial parent, and he was paying in excess of, I think, like more than $1,500 a month in child support for one child. And then on top of that, he was going above and beyond by buying his daughter expensive clothing, gadgets, trips, taking her on outings with his other children that he had from various baby mamas and ex-wives. And he was just going above and beyond and spending time with his daughter to let his daughter know that she was loved and she was wanted. I say all that to say that I don't believe that all men are poor fathers or deadbeats. These guys who sit up and fucking complain about paying $400 a month in child support, they're making themselves look real bad. And these are the irony of their complaints is that these people are the very same guys who will come back later on in life, because I've seen this play out time and time again. They are the very same guys who will come back when they're fucking old and can't work no more and decrepit, and then expect for their children that they refuse to provide for to then provide for them and look after them and cater to their fucking needs. So any of you guys who are new to my channel, I told a story about this elderly woman who she was married to a verbally and physically abusive man who tried to kill her, so she had to flee with her three children from her ex-husband, and she divorced him. She never received a penny of support financially. The children never received any emotional support whatsoever from their father. Oh, but wait, a few years ago, this man who is not elderly decides he wants to get to know his children after all these years and his grandchildren. So he had his family to send him down, to Florida where the ex-wife and his children live. He tried to get in back good with his family now that he knows he's in his final days of life, but he ended up in a nursing home. So I say all of this to say that these guys are the very same ones who don't pay child support, who don't provide any form of love and emotional support to their children. These are the same guys who then expect later on to be taken care of by these children that they didn't do shit for. That's classic narcissism. That's all I wanted to say. I'll catch up with you guys in another video. All right.